All right, let's see if we can talk about something important. There's a lot of things going on in the world, but there are also things that are going on that truly matter and have a direct effect on your life. If you was driving 50 miles per hour, wouldn't you want to know if there was a brick wall around the corner waiting for you to run into? What if you had no idea that a brick wall was around the corner? What would happen? See, this is how students at SWU see learning. Imagination is a great teacher. You can imagine things, and then you can imagine what would happen if this happened, and you can just keep imagining. And what that does is keep your mind fertile. What was once something they wanted no parts of, critical thinking, they now embrace. You need to try thinking. Why is that? Because they know now, what's important in life, and they know to distinguish those points. Now they prioritize everything. Simple shit you don't do today. Shit that's holding you back. Those are the things you allow to control you, not at SWU. If you come there, you're going to have to wake up. One of the good things about our one-on-one calls is I show students where they really are at. A lot of people, they just front. So you can't do no front. Whatever you say out your mouth, you're going to have to live up to. No matter what you claim, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. The pudding being your opportunity to show your improvements by participating in the things to do and speak to a lot of live females. Excuse me, I got them hiccups. I cannot understand how you could listen to a woman tell you so much about what women are thinking, and you not even want to talk to her. Well, I must have stayed on. Something happened to my computer. I just not fixed it, but got it back running. Any damn way, I was going to tell you about the one-on-one calls. I show students where they're at because we talk, and when you speak, you're not really speaking where I'm coming from. You're telling me where you're coming from. You think you're answering the question that I asked you, but in reality, you're telling me a lot more about how you think. Now, I mean, like I'm saying, I have women on my shows. Some of them want to talk, and I can't fathom why none of you guys even want to talk to them. I mean, I understand that you're gonna be talking to her and you ain't getting to see her and shit, but that's the challenge. See, I don't need the practice, and it's obvious you feel you don't need it either. Then why do you continue to strike out when you get it women? I mean, I don't strike out. I want to say ever, but I strike out sometime, I guess. I talk hella shit, and if you have listened to my show, I'll talk the same shit to women. Why can't you guys hear the science being laid down when I'm speaking to a woman, especially when I'm doing it live? She doesn't frighten me as she does you. Then why don't you see the format being used when I get at a woman? You can't take it in because you won't seal the information you're getting into your very being. Otherwise, talking to those goddamn women who call in and are willing to answer questions is just what the doctor ordered. It's just what he ordered for all you guys. I mean, I be wanting them to call. To call in, and when they do, a lot of the times I don't even talk to them. I don't let them talk because you guys rank me. I mean, shit. You guys sit, you listen, and hear the only men who have who make moves on these women. To speak truthfully, are the ones who bought my course and graduated. They're the only ones who have two nuts and are not afraid to expose them to women. I mean, salute to those men who've stepped up their game, man, and they're kind of laced with this abba now. They're able to witness it when they're tested live on one of my shows if necessary. Yes, the proof is indeed in the pudding, and my alumni prove the pudding indeed can be handled. How many times would you tell a dummy something to do and expect him or her to be able to do it? Call in, let me know. How many times would you tell them? You need problems like this in your life. Two motherfuckers with this abba dabba wanted to give a party but couldn't agree on whose house to give it at. Both of them knew if it was at they pad, it would get them the most credit. How would they decide? One of the niggas lived in a 4-bedroom home laid out in powder blue, wall-to-wall carpet, laid out in beige leather furniture, formal dining room, and each room laid out with the latest bedroom furniture. The other nigga lived in a 2-story home, laid out with a 12-piece playpen for the living room, 4 bedrooms laid out in the latest fashion, a Chinese fireplace in the backyard, and a gorgeous view of the city. Now, both had all the amenities anyone could want. How do they decide? I made a comment about competition, and it sparked a lot of discussion. One fool made the comment that it was an insignificant question because real men don't need to compete. This nigga was far off base when it comes to this abba. Most men in the square world think as dudes. Most men in the square world think as this dude think because of their insecurity concerning themselves. Now, in the life we led, if you were not willing to compare yourself with another nigga queued up, especially one you see rolling, you were not willing to grow in this game. When I do get in those moves, I ask simple but compelling questions. When niggas with dabba get together, their lives are the center of attention, the center of conversation, and yes, it includes all the things you're thinking. When two live niggas are rolling, but have their own recipes for how it's done, they damn sure will compare and compete. My lifelong friend Shantae Parker will tell you he and I competed every single day of our lives. If you ain't willing to compare yourself with competition, you've already lost the game. You can't tell yourself or explain clearly to yourself why you should not compete. But the plain and simple truth is you ain't shit and you know it. Competing is for real men. Screaming comments from the side is called sidelining and it's for spectators claiming to be real. I'll challenge any of you to do a semester with me and not see the light. Now, you guys need to jump on these tools. I ain't gonna keep telling you about these tools because I'm going to include them in Sidewalk University's curriculum. I'm trying to get all of you to jump on the deal before then. For $100, you can get 6 conversation tools of your choice, and for $120, you can get 6 mentality tools. You guys need these tools in preparation for the conversations you're gonna have. Who knows what will work and what won't work? I sure as hell do. I have 4 new categories of tools I'm introducing, targeted at specific areas of growth and conversation. I made these tools because I know how to bring the truth out of any woman I'm dealing with. The first category is this abadabba and some of the secrets you should know before going in. There are things that happen in the beginning of this life you gotta adjust to. And I talk about how to make those adjustments. Then there's a second category about manning up. Some dudes think you can get involved with this abadabba and play from the sidelines or from the shadows. This is a total wrong way to go about, being, fly. And we discuss the correct things to do. The third category is about winning. Once you're on your path, I hope I didn't lose nobody's shit. I don't know why my computer keep doing this shit. It's just cutting off. It's just cutting off for nothing. I don't know why. But I'm gonna keep going. The third category is about winning. Once you're on this path, certain things is gonna guarantee your success. Do you have any idea what they are? The fourth category is the important things about the integrity that you're gonna need. To be there. In a new relationship, I show all my bad points early on in the relationship. Somebody just asked, what is game? I just had a show, a video, talking about what is game. Game is the total knowledge that you have about what you're doing that generates money. You ain't got no game if what you doing ain't generating no money. Now, I believe if a woman stays around after dealing with the worst of me, it'll be a piece of cake to deal with the pleasant me. I just can't help myself. I go hard all day long. Some can't stand it because of the pace. Many times, as I keep grinding for what I want, I realize a fact of life. Everybody wants shit, but very few will go get it. Sidewalk, you go getters. That's what we are. This month is about, it's almost over. It should spell the end of the heat wave we're suffering. But what's even doper, you can grind in any weather. I make these videos to help bring out or bring about the change. I'm graced and blessed to have met up with real motherfuckers when I set foot in Hollywood. Shantae, my dog since the 70s, has always been real with me. Well, I guess I don't know what's happening. It just keeps cutting off. Me and Tatum fell out several times, but the dog in Egypt has always outshined the bullshit. I'm fortunate to have lived, a long and very fruitful life. I also realize my time on earth is coming to an end, and I want to leave a message. You got to be able to feel when your golden years are approaching. When I was younger, I thought about it, and I thought about if I should, work and wait for retirement to travel and see the country, maybe the world, or should I travel while youthful and dedicate my golden years to working? I decided that I'd rather travel while I was young and work when I got older. The opposite of the way most people think. For me, traveling while I was a young man is what made the years I have left golden. This was no accident. The remaining years I have were made golden by my being a man of great character, hella integrity, and a top flight street player, and also a gracious human being. I've grown to be a person willing to learn whatever it takes. I'm willing to learn whatever it takes to make progress in my life. I promise myself to adhere to the notion. Each one, teach one. Think about it. You get up on something, you ain't got to teach them what you know, but you do have to teach them to go after what you want. You teach the youngsters to not stand on the sideline talking about what you want. Go get it and be in the midst of the action talking about what you want. None of my being the top flight, anything is important to you per se, but my being Rosebud, the pimp, and you with the knowledge that I'm now a professor with my own school, that's of interest to many. What makes it interesting is the why of it all. Why has had an allure to it since the beginning of time. Scholarly people, men and women, have always seen it as a topic to discuss, or a topic to debate, or a topic to theorize about. My speaking of how good of a person I am, or the changes I've made, most likely means nothing to you. But I'll bet my last dollar. A lot of you want to know why I retired. Most of you won't accept it. And it's really true. I'm sure a lot of that is because I'm always on this goddamn social media talking shit. Or in most cases, talking a lot of shit. What I mean is, from my earliest memories, from some reason, I don't know why, for some reason, I always wanted to be important. For me, being the center of attention wasn't enough. I had to be special in my own way. I don't mean I wanted to be treated other than I deserved, because I knew I would deserve special. I've always been a standout in sports. And just about anything I pursued, I was in the higher echelon of it. I grew up competing and losing to all my brothers, and through it all, I really wanted to be a well-known person. I did not especially want to be an entertainer, but that would have worked. I certainly didn't want to be any kind of political figure or any leader, but I did have a great thirst to be an important person. And I don't really know where that thirst began, but if anyone influenced me in that direction, it was my father. Clint Dixon Sr. was quite well known in the city of Vallejo, California. He had a lot to do with how the city survived, but he was not a politician. He chaired a lot of our city committees, and he was always having some kind of meeting at our house concerning the well-being of the crest. But that wasn't his job. He was an electronic. Today he'd be one of those dudes who work on computer boards. He never ran for any office, but the major players of the city, from the mayor to the police chief down to the councilman, all would seek out Pop's advice on things concerning the citizens or politics of Vallejo. My father was kind of a voice for the community, representing the voiceless black citizens. He was always in the background of the event, but always called upon to speak. He was the first black Chevron station owner in Vallejo. He was a 36-degree Mason, and he was truly a great father. My pops was low key, but when someone had an idea to make this community better, they came to my dad, and if the idea was sound, he would do all he could, and it would happen. When my father passed, the Masons stood guard over his body for 72 straight hours. He was buried with many honors from that group of men because his respect was earned the hard way, the old-fashioned way. He worked for it. He set a lot of precedents for black men at the time in Vallejo, and he and my mother were and still are the role models for my entire family. One thing I know for a fact is my dad was proud of me. I said that to say he knew what I did, but I'm a respectful son in all aspects of my parents and would never floss or acknowledge I was a pimp to either. I remember when I bought my Rolls Royce. I rode to Vallejo and went to my parents on the pay a quick visit. My pops was in his normal attire, blue overalls, and a twisted little hat he wore, working in the front yard. I never fronted with my hoes, but this time I had 4 white girls with me. So I ran up to Pops, shook his hand, and went in to kiss Mom's. When I came back out, I was smiling and told Pops of my accomplishment in buying cash a Rolls Royce. My Pops put his foot on the shovel and said, "Boy, you really think you doing something, don't you?" I reached in my back pocket and pulled the pink slip out of my wallet to emphasize I had cashed out a Rolls Royce. I showed it to my father and he chuckled. He chuckled a little bit as he walked back towards the backyard and he looked at me. I walked over to my pops and he told me something to let me see just why I was such a hoe magnet. My dad said, "Boy, I seen a time when it took me 30 days of 1 month and 15 days of the next month just to see all my women." Then he walked further into the backyard. He stopped and turned and started to walk back towards my car. As he did, he was smiling and he grabbed my hand and was looking at my rings. He, he was examining them as we was walking toward the car. And when I got to the car, for the first time, I introduced my dad to my bras. Afterwards, I hopped back in and bagged out. When I put my car in drive, and my father gave me his approval for one of the few times in my life, and I was stoked. As I drove off, I heard my father say, "Do it, boy." All of us, anybody in my family would do just about anything here. Either of our parents, give us a compliment. My parents was of the mind, your kids are supposed to do what they do, no matter what it is. That was hard to get from my parents, a compliment. Do you want to know what most every woman wants in desire in a man? Is for the man in front of her to be able to show her how likable he is. A likable personality in a man is determined very quickly by a woman. So each of you need to hone what is likable about you and learn to converse on the many facets of your character. I think it took me over 170 hours of editing to get to that 4.5 hours you got on my course. I'm dedicated to doing the right thing and learning about what the fuck I'm getting into is par. I was blessed to get all the equipment and software I needed to make major moves, even though I was pressed for time. I learned all that. And shit got to where I could be doing big things with it. I saved $7,700 on my course. because I took it upon myself to learn some shit I was scared of at one time. No matter what you're doing, take the next step and quit bullshit. Quit limiting yourself. Sure, you don't know it, but that don't mean you can't learn it, and that don't mean you can't learn it on the fly. It's been a while now, but I've not been on Facebook or any of that shit like I once was. Facebook was a good tool for me to grow a little in areas of concern, but my school is now making it on its own, and I'm driving. I wanted a business when I started dealing with Facebook, which is how it is now. My books are selling mediocre, but they are moving, as is my MP3s of my confidence course, which is new and improved. That should say something to you about Facebook and me. You have watched me go to and graduate higher education with 2 degrees. You have seen me make 2 documentaries, The Gospel of the Game and The Real Filmo Slim. You've watched me complete 15 novels, publish 4. Yeah, I'm a conceited and selfish bastard, and I suggest you get some of what I'm on. This is not bragging. It's to show you how any of you can move if you really wanted to. So, my fellow Americans, what the fuck is in your wallet? I mean, what's on your menu? In your quest for greatness, those of you who seek it know the power of the menu. For you without a menu, you won't know what to order. And if you don't know what to order, how in the hell are you going anywhere? Pimping on the menu, as we used to scream. I now scream, game is a continuous flow, and unless you are in the know, you will not know where to go. As long as where you go, your game brightly show. Then you can join the ranks and belong to the game, to the realm of the game though. I am starting to get feedback on my new directions with SWU. I shouldn't even make these reports because I've been accused of paying people to support my course as they do. The average Joe cannot believe it works as well as it does. I cannot help people take the chance on my course and realize something special. They all realize they cannot determine the vessel their help will arrive in, but they all saw it. And when I came along with my course, they thanked me from the bottom of their hearts. And just as I thought, my new course is worth 40 times more. No, 1,000 times more. What I charge you. You know what? I'll talk it up the game. My new and improved male confidence course is the bomb. Just as you, I pay attention and learn. I incorporated all the feedback I received to improve my course and implement it in this new version. And you're the recipient of that effort. My course always was what I claimed it to be. It's the key to your escaping that prison of insecurity you live in. But now it even shows you how to build a bulletproof vest to wear in public when you interact. Don't waste any more time wondering if you should fade me on this. Get your money together and let's roll. There is no sense in you continuing to doubt something you're witnessing to be a success. The fear you have of me beating you is unfounded. So you need to give me my props and buy my course. Unless you have a few more years you want to spend hoping something changes for you. Join in and enjoy some of this damn good feeling of doing and being what and who you want to be. It's yours for the taking. Now, I'm going to be doing a few videos every motherfucking week, 3, 4, 5. So they're not going to be as long. But sometimes I get in that mood and I get to talking that shit. And I be needing to spend as many minutes as I can on here talking. But this one is a short one. I got a lot of shit to do. Like, I got new furniture coming and everything's got to be out of my house. So I got just about everything out. But of course, there's some heavy shit a nigga gotta pay some motherfucker to live, which ain't no big deal. So stay with me, stay with what I'm doing, and get your shit together. Because that's what it's all about. I'm out. I wonder what the fuck is wrong.